We cannot keep this man waiting.
Yes.
He's the current head coach of your San Diego State Aztecs football team, and it's been a busy day, National Signing Day in college football. So, Brady, how's it going so far?
Hey, it's going great, and it's great to be on with you guys. I feel the karma already.
There we go.
Well, we love that, Coach. What was sort of the target for you in this recruiting class right now, and how far did you go in fulfilling your needs?
Well, I think what we got done is what we needed to get done positionally. We wanted to take a big running back, and Jalen Armstead's a big back, 225 pounds. Offensive line concerns, a year from now, so we wanted to get 4 guys in that class and 3 tight ends so that some of the personnel that we want to use can help us out. And then we took 6 defensive backs. We lose 4 safeties a year from now, and so that was important. And then the 4 linebackers, those guys are so valuable on teams, and also, guys that we can replace some guys who graduate.
What type of competition do you expect at quarterback? Because you've had some really good ones the last couple of years in terms of winning. Christian Chapman, the all-time winningest quarterback, replaced by Ryan Agnew, who's won a ton of games. So what do you expect now with the new quarterback in 2020?
Well, it's going to be a fun spring, and really with our quarterbacks, they do everything everybody else does all winter long. So as we get into the competitions, the tire polls and some of those things, those guys will see their competitiveness, their toughness, and then obviously during spring football, I think Jeff Hecklinski, all those guys are going to get an opportunity, and I think the competition level will be really good.
Talking with Brady, Hoke, head coach, Aztecs football team. You mentioned Jeff Hecklinski. You guys have this history together. What changes, notable or otherwise, should we see this year as far as offense is concerned?
Well, number one, we're going to still emphasize the toughness that we want to play with, Rich. Up front, we want to be able to move the line of scrimmage. We want to take advantage of some personnel groups and leveraging defenses. I think that's the Tampa zone and those type of things. And then we want to be able to have quarterbacks who obviously can be part of the equation with some quarterback runs, quarterback counters, the fly sweep system, really trying to take advantage of the personnel that we have and the abilities of that personnel so that we can keep a defense off balance.
Aztecs football coach Brady Hoke is joining us right now. Coach, a two-sided question for you. One, were you surprised that Rocky Long decided to return to New Mexico as defensive coordinator? And tell us about Kurt Maddox and what he's going to bring to the Aztec defense.
Well, Steve, I think this, I have so much respect for Coach Long and our relationship. I know that it's some place that they wanted to retire in Albuquerque. I think the situation with Danny was a good situation. Believe me, we tried to keep him here. I told him I would keep him in Miller Lite for the rest of his life. But it's one of those things that, he felt it was the best decision for him and Debbie, and we respect that. And Kurt is a guy who I've coached with at Michigan and then at Ball State, and really is a guy who is probably one of the better football coaches I've been around. We want to keep the same system. Coach Maddox has studied this system for the last 10 years, and I think it's a great marriage, and he'll do a great job at teaching and coaching.
Coach, how does the transfer portal change your job? As in, that's relatively new to Division I football. Is that beneficial for programs like San Diego State, or how can it help you, and where does it hurt you?
Well, I don't know yet exactly how it can hurt you unless you lose a bunch of guys. I think that's when it can affect your program. I think roster management has become a big thing with the portal and the grad transfers. So, we kept a couple scholarships that there's, maybe a situation comes up, added position that we feel coming out of spring we need some help.
Brady Hoke joining us, head coach of the Aztecs. You had that brief run as the head coach with this program earlier in your career, almost a decade ago. You returned as defensive line coach last year. You're back in the seat as head coach. What are the biggest personal adjustments you've had to make this offseason, hopping back in the chair and helming this program again?
Well, obviously, as a head coach, you really got to set the culture. We're real fortunate. We've got a great culture here, but, things will be different in some ways, but the same things that we've strived for and that we really implemented in 2009 and 10, will be a big part of it, of that culture and, the hard work and the blue-collarness that we have as a program, the toughness and effort that we are going to play with. We'll keep those things in place. And, offensively, there'll be some changes, obviously, in how we want to do things. But at the same time, we're real excited about what has been done here and trying to elevate it.
Coach, you had a 12-year run, 6 at Ball State, 2 with the Aztecs, 4 at Michigan, uninterrupted as a head coach, Division I football. And then you're back in the driver's seat now. It's been 6 years since you had that full-time job. I know you were an interim guy for a couple of games down at Tennessee, but what is it like now? And is your approach any different than it was on your previous assignments as a head coach?
I think you always try and take the good and the bad. You want to learn. You want to keep developing. I think you do that, and it could be in how we function here in the office and how we look at game planning, how we look at what we want to accomplish during a winter conditioning period, what we want to get accomplished during spring, and really mapping that out. And I guess being obviously more involved there. I'll still be with those defensive linemen for some things during practice that I can't get away from. But I think that as you get back in this chair, there's other things that you're involved with that take a little bit more of a priority at times. But we've got a great staff. Got great guys who are really in coaching for the right reasons and understand, that we really want to do a great job for the Aztecs in every way we can.
Coach, how do you expect the prospect of this new stadium to potentially help you on the recruiting trail moving forward?
Well, I think what JD and all those people involved with the stadium project and the presentation that they gave me, it's going to be special. And it's going to be probably one of the elite stadiums across this country, number one, being here in San Diego, and secondly, just the renderings that I've seen and how they're trying to tie all the communities, neighborhoods in San Diego together at this one place.
Well, Brady, we're excited to see the new stadium. We're excited to see this new team come next season, and we're so happy for you on this day, signing all these new players. A lot of Aztecs coming to the Mesa.
A lot of karma coming his way, of course, Rich. Don't leave that out.
Karma.
Hey, what happened to Costas' karma?
Yeah, well,
That's
With him.
yeah, I'm still stunned he showed up at your press conference, Coach. That was the biggest. That was the shocker of the year.
Relegated to the morning. Yeah, we had a. Yeah. Coach, always great catching up with you.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
All right, there he is, Brady Hoke.